What should I feed my fish? What's the best food for my fish? And how much food should I give my fish? These are some of the questions that I have in my head all the time. It bothers me quite a bit because I want to feed my fish the best food, and I want to have the best nutrition for my fish, and I don't want to overfeed them. I don't want to underfeed them. I want my fish to be completely happy. This is a core goal for me. So I was blessed enough to have an interview with Dr. Gerald Bassleer, who is an ichthyologist who specializes in fish diseases for the past 50 years, okay? And he works closely with fish farms in Europe. He's one of the main people they contact when they have a disease outbreak. So he's high up there with the expertise managing fish diseases. He's probably one of the most experienced people with this. And he also has a book, and you can buy the book on his website. I'll put a link to it here. I'm not a paid advertisement or anything, but it does highlight all the fish diseases and all the causes, and also what you can do, how to identify them, how to manage it, and also how to prevent the disease, which is his main philosophy. He says, let thy food be thy medicine. That's his core belief, and he thinks that by having a healthier animal who is properly nutritionist or properly well fed, you eliminate a lot of diseases just by simply feeding the animal the right food. So his entire approach is prevention before it even happens, you know? So I really like the proactive approach instead of being a reactive person. I don't want to have a disease outbreak and then react to it with medication. I'd rather feed my fish a healthier diet ahead of time so that the disease outbreak does not happen. That's something I can definitely subscribe to, you know what I mean? Just like you guys have subscribed to my channel. And if you haven't, you should do that right now. Right now, yeah. Good. And give this video a thumbs up, because this video is going to be very informative for you guys. And I'm going to segment the hour-long interview into small sections, so it's not taking up a lot of time for each video. But if you want to watch the whole thing, you can on Dr. Gerald Bassleer's YouTube channel. I put a link to it up here, so you guys can check out his channel and the entire full-length video. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. Watch till the end, because you do not want to miss out on all the valuable information he has to offer you guys through this live interview.
Produced by Malik.
We're here with Dr. Gerald Bassleer, the creator of BASSLEER BioFish Food. And this interview is, hello, doctor. And this interview is basically specifically for pelagic fish keepers, but also for other fish keepers, on explaining on different types of foods and questions that we breeders and hobbyists have for Dr. Bassleer as well. And so he's going to explain the different things that we've already, the predetermined questions that we've asked. And if there is other questions that come to mind throughout the video, I will also ask them. But I will let Dr. Bassleer take over now and continue with the interview.
Okay, thank you, Malik, for introducing me. And I'm proud to be part of the Canadian area, Toronto. It's far away from Belgium.
We love you here, huh?
Yeah, well, Canada is far away and not possible to fly these days. But anyway,
no.
Luckily, we have the internet, and I will try to answer the questions you posed me, and I hope this will give some answers to your viewers. And maybe afterwards questions come, and in the next coming days, I can try to reply to the questions, because sometimes you give some information and then some issues remain unanswered orthologically. It's I give so much info, and maybe some people are still puzzled. Hey, I don't get the right answer, but thank you for the many questions. And I will start showing my screen sharing. I will see how we manage here to get it all on the screen here. Okay. Well, Malik, as I promised you, I was planning to give you some answers on your questions posed by you and by your followers. So I will start showing my my screen with the PowerPoint presentation. And I hope this will help you to understand what I'm talking about and why you're sharing these ideas about fish. And fish food for specific fish, well, this is a subject many people ask me because do we need that? And I will try to explain in a few examples with my experience as a fish pathobiologist, working with fish diseases and fish health. In more than 40 years, I've been looking for solutions. What kind of food I have to give? And I had a fish house with 1,000 aquaria during 25 years, and feeding fish, many kinds of fish. We had about 250 different varieties, and I was looking for a good food with good solutions for good health, good growth, but particularly for prevention of diseases and control of diseases, because the fish food should have some ingredients which helps the fish and avoiding the use of antibiotics or other kind of medications. So the questions you asked, is why the Bassleer food, why did I make it? What is better? And what should I give to the carnivore plecos? And many other questions like the baby food, the nano food, is it dusty? In a mixed tank, how should we feed, all different kind of fish, and the wood-eating plecos, what to do with that, and the ancestors and the hip ancestors, they need more meat. What about the biofish food? What can they do? And if we have a mixture of 3 types of plecos, what should I recommend? So I will try to explain with my PowerPoint the answers on these questions, and how can the food stay in the water for a long time? Is that possible? Well, I try to answer. Well, fish food for certain fish. Is there a question raised already? Many people do that because people selling fish food for guppies, and people are selling discus food or catfish food, like the discus people feeding a lot of mosquito larvae. Is that the best food? Well, to be honest, if I feed my fish tank, and I'm feeding my fish tank and I'm feeding the angelfish food, does it mean that the cardinals are not able to touch it? Or if I feed my neon tetras and the corridors are not able to eat on the food of the neon tetra, or the ancestors cannot eat the food of the angelfish, or the same for marine fish, if the Ecatourus is not allowed to eat the food of the clownfish. Well, I tell you, in nature, it's a survival of the fittest. And in nature, they have to take what they can get. And I will give you examples of studies which have been done by people specialized in resourcing the sources of the fish food related to the health of certain fish in nature. And here is the guppy studied in Trinidad, where this original the guppies are coming from. And there is a comparison made between 2 rivers, the Naranjo River and the Tacariga River. And they find out that those 2 rivers had different habitats, different kind of food sources. And because of different kind of food sources, the guppy had no chance then just to eat what was offered to them by the river. They had no chance to wait that somebody feed them or to change the habitat. They just had to explore what was available in the river. And in the river Naranjo, there was more invertebrates than there was in the Tacariga River. And less filamentous algae. More in the Tacariga River, there's more filamentous liver and unicellular algae and diatom. So there's a different habitat. And what does that mean for the guppy? How the fish survived? Well, they survived, but what was typical for the survival, that those fish had a different gut system developed. If you see here the amount of invertebrates proportion in the diet, you see a large amount of invertebrates, and here is the length of the gut. And the longer the gut is, the longer the gut is here on the left, that means the fish has been eating many more algae food and less invertebrates. And if they have a lot of invertebrates, they have a much shorter gut length. So that means the fish can adapt. The fish adapts during its lifespan, and during the dry or the wet season, the fish can adapt to a diet which is offered to them. So extra green food, a longer gut, like you see with many ancestries. The myelosoma, you know, it's called maybe in Canada also a kind of silver dollar type, you know. It's the red hook or the myelosoma, many different kinds. And here they show that the food is changing depending on the season in the rivers. This is the nature. The nature controls what's available. And you see here the left bar, you see that's the food that's been given. Well, let's go back here. That's been given as a plant material, the white bar. And the black bar is the fruits and the seeds that I love to eat. And then the other bar here, this one, the big one here, at when the low season is the bar where the fish can have insects. So you can see that the insects, for instance, they eat a lot of insects in the low season and nothing in the rising or the high season. And in the rising and the high season, you can see they eat more predominantly fruits and seeds. So you can see changing food depending on the season. So that's typical for many fish in the wild. The discus, I show you the same thing for discus, it's adaptation, depending on the high water or the low water season. In the yellow, I show the high water season, where you can see changes in eating vegetable waste products. You can see that the discus, most of their diet, between 50 and 80%, is flowers, fruits, seeds, leaves, vegetable products. Where are the mosquito larvae for these discus? Well, it's only a small part, you know. They eat also algae depending on the season, more in the low season, low water season, and they eat more of aquatic invertebrates and worms in the low season, and they eat more insects and crustacea. Here is the mosquito larvae. Only about 20% to eat of mosquito larvae in the high water season and hardly anything in the low water season. So this is the diet of the discus, changing depending on the season. And a study interesting for you guys, the people who are having ancestors, Pterygoplichtis, Loricaridae, you see the study of the gut system of different situations where Pterygoplichtis, you know, Pterygoplichtis, I think it's you call it the mosaic pleco. Well, you can see here the wild, that's the microvilli, the gut system, which is different formed than when it's a wood-eating system where it's living in, or an algae diet where it's living in, or a starvation system when it's a large shortage of food. So you can see the adaptation of the gut to the food source, which tells us lessons that the fish have an ability to adapt to the food. So our biofish food is mainly meant for you to be 100% natural, because the nature provides the ingredients you have, and the nature provides a balanced ingredients. It can be different low and high season, but in our aquarium, we don't have a high season or a low water season or a wet season or dry seasons, hopefully not. But we can provide a balanced diet, and that balanced diet consists in our ingredients of Scandinavian marine wild fish, krill, algae, cereals, vegetables, vitamins, trace elements, and minerals. And those are all very well digestible. Particularly the wild fish and the krill are very good amino acids, very good digested, so less waste and very good absorption by the gut system. Also, because the marine wild fish have the best protein ingredients which are necessary for all fish, freshwater and marine. We did 25 years of testing in the prevention and control of fish health here working in my fish house. And we know that the food is suitable for freshwater and marine fish and suitable for all Loricaridae and ancestries.
Thank you so much for watching the video till the end, and I hope you guys find value in the interview. And there's about 4 more sections that are going to come out in this, that I segmented out from the video. I mean, I'm just going to edit it out into smaller sections so that it's not so taxing for us to watch. You know, it's hard for average person to spend more than 10 minutes and it's absorbing a lot of information. Even when you're studying, they tell you study for 10-20 minutes, take a 5-minute break, go back to studying. You know, I mean, that's just how you kind of maximize your learning potential. So I believe that's why I don't want to put a whole hour-long interview, you know, and then you guys don't get the entire length of it. But I will take out sections where I find value, and I will put them into smaller videos like this, so you guys can check those out and go watch the whole video on his YouTube channel, which I will put the link to in the description as well, and should be like out here somewhere too, so you guys can click that. And hope you guys found this informative, and if you have any questions, comment below and I will be glad to get back to you. And also, if you guys have questions for Dr. Gerald Bassleer, you can also comment here and I can ask him those on a follow-up interview, or you can also directly ask him those questions yourself on his YouTube channel. So there's so many options, so we can learn what's best for our beautiful friends, and that's the core goal. You want to keep your animals alive long term. These guys are about 8 years now, 5 to 8 years. The one that passed away recently was 8 plus. When I got him, he was 8. He's a big guy, you know, Congo tetras. Usually live about 3 years. Dr. Bassleer has fish that are 12 years that have an average lifespan of 3. So he has cardinal tetras that are 12 years old. 12 years old. Not 1, 2, but a whole school of them. Still thriving, doing great. They don't look like they're 12 years old. They're probably going to make another few years. So these animals in nature even won't make it to 5 years, but he's keeping them alive 3 to 4 times as long as the average person. So he must be doing something right. That's one of the main things that my takeaway from the video was that his goals are pretty similar to my goals when it comes to his own fish. And also, if it's good for somebody like Belen's Farm, you know, who is the biggest zebra pleco breeder in the world, then it's good for my fish. That's what I actually said in the interview. You probably see that at some point. So hope you like that, and I'll see you on the next video. I love you all. God bless you. So I've been working on this for a little bit. I do have a few that's hatched. There's one right there. I don't know if you can see it right now in focus, but there's 2 that have hatched. There's 1 egg that had gone bad right here. So I had to remove it as much as possible. That's what I've been doing for the last like 15 minutes or so, trying to do that. So I figured I'm going to record this bit because I have been using the camera right on my iPad.